another paper. Just give us a minute. We have the Standard. The Splash says cost of living will derail dialogue. Committee warns cost of living will derail dialogue. Committee warns. Let's have a look at another paper. Before we go to another paper, okay, the Splash says, checkmate, schemes have jolted former Prime Minister to start recruitment drive, party polls. Why Ruto's political moves rattle Raila? Opposition foot soldiers, especially in Luo Nyanza, have decamped to UDA party. So I want us to go back to the Nation's newspaper was saying the return of Raila. If we can remember yesterday, the Azimio team had split it into two teams, whereby we had the Raila team had a drive whereby they were trying to revamp back the ODM party in matters. They're trying to check whether the people who are in Siaya County are members. So they were trying to look at the membership. So look at the Daily Nation down there. It says familiar ground after months of silence. Azimio leader Raila Odinga has made a comeback into the political scene and is now spoiling for a fight with President William Ruto's administration. He has vowed to release a damning dossier on the government oil deal and has launched a national registration drive to strengthen his party, even as he hints at making sixth stab at the presidency. So yesterday we see Raila Odinga and his team in Siaya. They were launching a national registration drive to strengthen their party, especially in the strongholds. And we also saw other Azimio leaders in Vihiga, in the western part, people like Sifuna, the Secretary General for ODM. We also saw Oparanya. We saw other leaders in the western region trying to talk to people about immediately the aftermath of the State of the Nation address of William Ruto, and they were talking to the electorate, the people on the ground, and they were saying that Ruto had actually lied to Kenyans because he was not his speech did not commensurate with what was happening on the ground. He did not talk about energy. He did not talk about the cost of fuel, which are the major things that the people were expecting him to talk about. He just lauded the Kenya Kwanza campaign on the major things that they had done, but at the end of the day, the people on the ground were not happy because the cost of living had skyrocketed. And Raila Amolo Odinga, according to the Daily Nation, is about to release a dossier that will harm the Kenya Kwanza government. Don, what do you think? Do you think this Raila's next move is something that will bring a split in the Kenya Kwanza government? Or what do you think is the best strategy for the opposition leader to take as the way things are going on course in matters governance and leadership?
According to me, right now there are things that maybe that have happened. They have given President Ruto time so that Kenyans will be able to rate his leadership and his tactics in as regards to being the president of Kenya. So I think the time that they have given President Ruto, it has revealed some flaws or some weaknesses that maybe has come due to President Ruto's being leadership. So I think on my side, I think they left time for Kenyans to see like what Ruto is all about, and you see, back then when they launched Mandamano up back and forth, they complained that Raila is not giving them enough time to lead. So I think on my side, they left enough time so that Kenyans will see what's happening, and then after there, they will be able to judge according to themselves, maybe without Raila telling them what to do. And of late, we have seen push, especially on Twitter. People want to go to Mandamano. People want to, like Raila, to wake up and say that let's go to Mandamano. But that push, most people are saying that it's time for Raila to relax and let Kenyans now take the wheel of maybe Mandamano. And we saw Raila Odinga on Saturday revealing some things, the way that the Daily Nation have quoted. So I think let's listen in to what he said before we proceed. Yeah, he said that he will be revealing some things about oil theft, or President Ruto is stealing 30 shillings per liter from Kenyans. So we can listen into his speech.
Amesema na atawacha kwa sababu gani? Amesema they do not want to pay Kenyan corruption. To pay because Bwana Ruto alisema ametoa makampuni ya mafuta kununua mafuta kutoka ngambo. Anafanya kitu inaitwa G to G, at government to government. Kenya government is now buying oil from Saudi Arabia na serikali ya Emirates. Sasa lakini hiyo ni njama ya kunyanyasa wa Kenya. Hiyo bei ambayo wanauza hii mafuta katika kila lita wameweka 30 juu. Each and every liter of oil which they are selling, they are eating 30 shillings. They have loaded 30 shillings in each and every liter. That is to say, if 1 liter is costing 217 shillings, it should cost 187 shillings. Museveni amesema hataki kufanya nini? Kugharamia ufisadi ya Wakenya. He does not want to subsidize Kenyan corruption. And that's why amesema anakwenda Dar es Salaam kupitia mafuta kutoka Tanzania. Je, hii ni sawa sawa? Hii ni sawa sawa? Hiyo ninasema tumefanya uchunguzi na wiki ijayo mtatoboa. Hello?
So we've had the speech from Raila Amolo Odinga saying that he is going to reveal from the dossier what the government is up to. Is it matters corruption? Well, let us look at the comments on the page, Lightcast TV Facebook page. You have Ogero Amon who says, our hero. Lastborn Vini Ombongi Risasi Badoni Moja, thank you for watching. Collins Kachiku says Ruto should quit. Thank you for watching and following. Rafael we have Patrick Muganda return from silence. So this is an interesting speech. Well, before we even go to what Raila is saying, do you think that maybe we are prejudging very quickly because Kenya Kwanza is just coming to government and probably they have so much to deal with. They have a lot in the plate. They are probably trying to stabilize the economy the best way they know how. Ruto has been saying that he is trying to lower the cost of production so as to ensure that food security in the country is revamped. But right now, probably what's lingering on people's minds is actually the electricity bills that are skyrocketed in people's homes, and also the cost of fuel, which has actually led to the cost of goods, cost of foodstuffs, cost of almost everything that we need to survive has also skyrocketed. But the question here is it too early to prejudge the Kenya Kwanza government for the first, as per 1 year, the State of the Nation address? Maybe we need to give them some time. Maybe they just need a little bit of time, because the government really had to make some difficult decisions, because according to Gachagua, he said that they had inherited a dilapidated economy. But also then there are also people on the ground who said that according to the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, Ruto had promised the moment he would put his Bible down, then he would ensure that the cost of living has gone down. Maybe in his mind, he was thinking that maybe the best way to do that is lower the cost of production. But actually, when it comes to creating a turnaround in the Kenyan economy, it is not a walk in the park. It is not magic. Don.
Okay, on my side, I can say before we proceed, we have some few comments. We have Queen CHD saying live editions brought to you by William Zakayo Luto. Thank you for watching. Isaiah B anasema Kenya Kwanza ama bottom up was a scam. Sufferers remain suffering and the rich continue being rich. Anasema kuna mwingine Quiz anasema bado Zakayo anatumaliza. Nyambane Injini anasema Ruto should quit, tumeteseka sana. Duke Onkware, Ruto Tawe, the worst president ever. Dadson Gashoka, asante sana kwa kutune in. Kuna Dan Duke Onkware ba sama Ruto atoke. Yeah, thank you very much. So, according to me, what I can say is this. Me, I think, first of all, if when Ruto is saying that things are bad to everybody, including Kenyans. Things are bad to everybody, including Kenyans. So I guess he should have come with policies to reduce, maybe to cushion the living or the cost of living. You get it? Because you remember even during the times of President Kenyatta and then the COVID times, things were bad everywhere. But at least President Uhuru Kenyatta tried and looked for some alternatives to cushion Kenya so that they don't feel that heat. But you see, for President Ruto, as much as they're saying that the price of oil is increasing internationally, maybe due to ongoing crisis, the war between Ukraine and Russia being one of them. So I think on my side, I can say that you should first come up with some strategies to cushion Kenya so that they don't feel that heat very much. You see, what is happening right now with Ruto is just, as much as maybe people are saying that it has been 1 year in the government, President Ruto being in the government, I think people are already feeling like most of the people are already feeling that they're tired of his government and his policies. And then when he's saying that he's coming up with strategy to reduce maybe cost of living and everything, right now there's nothing that is proving that the cost of living has been lowered, because you see that it's like he's trying to play chess game with the people. You get it? It's like when he's reducing the cost of unga, is increasing the cost of getting IDs and passport and everything. When it's reducing something from another department, is increasing something on another sector. So I think it's just playing games with the mind of the people. And then, according to me, like these visits to outside Kenya, I think it's affecting the economy, because for a head of state to go and visit maybe other countries, taxpayers have to dig deeper into their pocket to be able to sponsor those international visits.
Let me interject there. You have just said that Ruto's visits to these other countries outside internationally is actually affecting the taxpayers' money. But you remember also yesterday, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said that he will give an account of all the trips that President Ruto has made ever since he came into government, and he would actually roll out the fruits that actually have come out as a result of going to those trips. Don't you think you're prejudging or you're being judgy?
You see, the fruits, first of all, there is the fruit. When you say the fruits, so far Ruto has made over 100 trips outside Kenya.
Are you sure?
So that one I'm sure, because actually people have named it like a tourist in the country. It's like coming on a state visit to Kenya and then goes to outside world. So I think so far, if there is maybe any fruits of those visits, we should have seen even maybe up to 5 like benefits of them. It will not make sense when you say that you will reveal soon, but the trips are just continuing, becoming more and more.
But also, you remember that when he is making these trips, when he goes to these trips, of course, he has to think about the Kenyan people. Well, he's been making agreements, trade agreements, having bilateral talks with these other heads of states from other parts of the world, whereby he's making an agreement with the heads of state from other parts of the world, whereby he's creating an avenue for work for the Kenyan population, because according to people around the world, they say that the Kenyan population, the Kenyan human resource is the most efficient, and that is why he's looking for work. Because here in Kenya right now, when you look at the government in terms of employment, and we are churning out university graduates every year in its thousands, and we have college graduates from TVETs, and they don't have work. So I think it's better for him, maybe he's going out to look for work, so that Kenyan populations who don't have work in the country can actually have an avenue there, so that they can, upgrade themselves and, go and get something for themselves, so that they can repatriate their monies back at home and help their people, and also at the same time uplift their standards of living.
Yeah, on that I may differ with you, because when Ruto says that he has gone to international markets to look for employment for Kenyans, of late we have there was a time he went to those Google or those how can I say, like
The Google, Facebook, the social
Facebook,
media,
the social
Meta.
media, the Apple, and the rest. Well, see, when you say that you're going to look for work for Kenyans, and at the same time in those companies there are massive layoffs, you understand, like those, like there was a massive layoffs on one of the big company. So you can't say you're going to look for jobs for Kenyans, and that's in the place where they're feeling the heat themselves. Unasikia ni kama tumelemewa kuran ama kuhold employees wetu together.
What would you rather him do? Let the Kenyans stall in the country?
Listen. You cannot say, like for example, Lightcast Media is laying off people. For example, Lightcast TV Kenya is laying off people because maybe we are feeling the heat of the economy, and then we are laying off people that we've employed in our country, like Kenyans. And then maybe, for example, Museveni in Uganda saying that he's coming to look for jobs for Ugandans in Lightcast TV Kenya. That is not balancing, you understand? You see, for a long time I've been saying that President Ruto is running the government as if he's running an entertainment firm. He's full of it's full of drama and PR gimmicks. He's not working. He's not asking for opinions from real Kenyans.
From what you've just said, somebody just commented that the most efficient department in the Kenya Kwanza administration, especially on the office of the president, is the public relations office.
Yeah, because of the PR gimmicks. Our country is not an entertainment firm. He should face the matters head on. You understand? Of course, Kenyans understand it has been only for first year in office, but right now, like how do you increase the cost of getting replacing ID from 1,000 from 100 100 shillings to a whooping 2,000 shillings, and then you are saying we are working towards lowering the cost of living.
Actually,
So for apart from that, there is the issue of birth certificate, and you are saying that you want. Yesterday we saw Gachagua saying that. Actually, we'll listen to that. But we saw Gachagua saying that we needs people to increase the number of children they are getting. So when you're saying that you want people to increase the number of children people should get, and then you're increasing the birth certificate, the cost of getting birth certificate and marriage certificates, what like I don't understand. Like, how do you want people to balance between your expenses or the high cost of getting some services, and then you want them to increase the same? So you can imagine if for one child getting a certificate for birth certificate for one is expensive, and you're saying people to have like a minimum of 10 children. So sometimes I fail to wonder where this country or where the leadership of this country is taking us.
well, I think that was one of the careless talk on my side. It was a careless talk on the side of Deputy Gachagua. It is not the first time that he has done a careless talk. How can he advise the people on the ground to have more children, and yet the cost of living has skyrocketed? How can you advise me to have more kids, and yet school fees has gone up? How can you ask me to have more kids, and yet bringing food on the table and I have a kid in the house is actually a problem? I have talked to so many parents right now, and they are actually sending their kids home, and when they send their kids home up country, they have to send money for food and shopping, because actually back at home it's serious, it's ridiculous. So I think that the leadership, the Kenya Kwanza leadership, needs to, streamline and work on their rhetoric and stick to what they promised us, and give us an honest outlook of how of what they are doing. In fact, when President Ruto was actually giving us the State of the Nation, it's like he was trying to impress us. We don't need to be impressed. We need to know what is going on. We need to actually understand where you have reached in matters trying to stabilize the economy of the Kenyan economy. Actually, we need to find out, okay, what is the progress that you have made? What are the hits and the misses? Where are you finding a problem? Because the moment the Kenya Kwanza government fails, we as a country have failed. So we do not want President Ruto to fail. We want him to lower the cost of living the way he promised us. But he's actually not doing that. I don't know where his priorities are, because actually I feel he has misplaced priorities right now. And the bipartisan talks, according to what the leaders of the Azimio the principals of Azimio said yesterday at Vihiga County, they made a clarion call to those who are the heads of the bipartisan talks. Kalonzo Musyoka, he was told, if that part where the cost of living is being mentioned, if it has not gone down, then the document will be rejected.
So on the same case of our bipartisan talks, before we proceed with the show, we have a comment from some Kenyans here. I think Uko Sore saying, let him listen to the people's voice. He thinks Kenyans are fools. By the time elections is called, he will have amassed more money just to buy them off. Hashtag to vote them. Thank you very much, Osore, for tuning in. Eliud Ngetich anasema Raila amekuwa keep the nazambia wa Kenya, keep the comments clear. Thank you sana Eliud Ngetich for tuning in. British Karanja anasema thank you for tuning in still. Honorable Andoli Okwemba, thank you very much for tuning in. And then we have John Ngewa anasema we should overthrow the Ruto's government. Patrick Ogutu anasema any government which doesn't listen to its people is dead. Corruption taking root on the expense of the poor. Duke Onkware anasema taa away. So I think we have Andrew Bosiri anasema this is what you get when campaigner is mistaken for a leader. But then who in Kenya just a bit. Yeah, but then who in Kenya thought that they were electing the most just leader of all time, a country that barely provides for its citizen with basic services, that produces billionaires overnight? We are not serious, and until we do, we are going to suffer, unfortunately. And then Bitu Karanja Sema, yes, of course. So thank you very much for your comments and feedback. So on the matters of bipartisan talks, you see, one of the topics or one of the item the committee is discussing there at Bomas is the reduction of the cost of living. So it's dramatic, or it's how can I say it's like a mockery. Like you are discussing about there's me have presented the option or the title or the item to for Ruto's government to lower the cost of living, and then at the same time you are increasing the cost of getting IDs, you're increasing the taxes, you're increasing the oil. You understand? So sometimes I wonder, like, what's the essence of what is the importance of having that bipartisan talk if you are what people are discussing there, like they want them reduced, you are doing totally opposite outside there. What if you just dissolve that? Some people are saying that we dissolve just your committee quite dissolved, and then maybe people will look for other options for them to be heard, because it is not making sense. It's like telling a person that maybe we can't put it this context, like husband and wife trying to solve their dispute maybe because of cheating, you understand? And then when the husband is going to discuss maybe to be brought together with the wife at their home, they are discussing there, and then the husband is just continuing cheating, you understand? It is not making sense to me, you understand? So I think this government, I don't, like, most Kenyans don't fail to understand this government, the way they're approaching issues. Because if indeed that issue of lowering the cost of living was in their heart, they should have maybe right now Kenyans should be living more comfortably, you understand, than before during the days of Mandamano or before Mandamano. You see, back there the cost of things maybe were high. Right now the same things that people are complaining back there, like cost of unga, right now it has reduced, but they are trying to supplement that cost on other issues like IDs. To me, it's not making sense.
Well, when you're speaking about issues of IDs, I remember a time. You remember a time during former President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. He had established Huduma Center, whereby if you had lost your documents, you could actually go and get them for free. I remember at a time when I was working at Youth Agenda as a communications person. I had started out as an intern, and then I stayed there for a while. I did not have an ID, and I went there to look for an ID, and I would actually, the process was seamless, and it would take like 2 to 3 weeks to get my ID, and the only cost that I incurred was maybe transport. I didn't have to pay for anything. And right now, if I lose my ID, I actually have to pay how much again? 2,000?
2,000.
Really?
That
Where
means,
am I going to get that 2,000? Am I going to use that 2,000 to actually buy food, to pay electricity, to go get my ID? Seriously, this government, I see there is no political goodwill here. There is just complete lip service. And when it comes to action, there is nothing that is happening.
So we saw on that matters of ID, we saw Siaya Governor James Orengo saying that Ruto is hiking charges on getting IDs because he's planning to steal elections again in 2027. So on that matter, like there was a comment back then I saw on social media saying that the way Ruto is behaving with the government, or the way he's approaching issues with the government, it's like he's not interested in the second term. So before we proceed, I think let's listen in to Governor James Orengo's speech on that issue. Speech in Siaya, where he touched also on issues of ID.
Nataka niseme kwa Kiswahili. Nataka niseme kwa Kiswahili. Na swali ni hili. Sisi sote ni wana Kenya. Hakuna mtu hata moja ambao yuko hapa ambao si Mkenya. Katiba imetupatia haki ya kwamba kila mtu ambaye amezaliwa kama Mkenya lazima apate identity card. Imesema lazima upate passport. Lakini sasa Ruto amesema ukitaka identity card lazima ulipe. Hiyo kulipa inaonyesha kwamba hakutambui kama mwana Kenya. Wangapi wameshutumu serikali ya Ruto ya kukataza sisi? Wangapi wamesema ya kwamba Ruto lazima Jambo la pili, adwa nuwinjo gima miyo nyakubejo chama. Gimuna no Ruto kelo wach mar identity card en wach mar kwalo yiero. Nikech identity card emigogo kura. Emomiyo an gimokwongo makwau. Josiaya uwinja. Gimakwau. Lazima tuwe wanafuasi wa ODM. Wangapi wamekubali ya kwamba watakuwa wafuasi wa ODM? Na kiongozi wetu katika ODM ni Raila Amolo Odinga. Kiongozi ya chama chetu ni nani? Raila Amolo Odinga. Hakuna mahali katika nchi hii ulimwengu nzima ambapo unaweza kushinda kwa kura ikiwa chama chako haina nguvu. Hata Obama alikuwa president in America kwa sababu alikuwa na chama ambayo ina nguvu. Kwa hivyo tunahimiza ya kwamba kila mtu katika Siaya nzima awe mwanachama ya ODM. Jambo la tatu, tunapata aibu kubwa hapa Siaya kwa sababu Raila Amolo Odinga ametupatia wabunge wengi, na kuna wabunge wengine wametusaliti wakaenda kwa Kenya Kwanza. Siaya ndiye imekuwa na wasaliti wengi zaidi. Omiyo Siaya wadwan walor, jadimo yenu walor Siaya. Jadimo yenu walor Siaya. Ayeg jo wich lum nyocha jo yudia odi wich lum megi yudo kiboko ochopo kamoro manyaka watigi kiboko kafuo ng'eny to nyaka watigi kiboko kafuo ng'eny to nyaka watigi ang'o kaji moko dwa chawa to nyaka watigi kiboko na
So we've just had Orengo speaking about the hiking of IDs, and he's saying that Ruto is hiking IDs because he's planning to steal elections. Well, those are very, very hot allegations right there. Let us go to the comment section. We have Vincent Omondi who says, Orengo fanyia watu kazi kwanza, mambo ya chama will come later. We have Collins Kachiku who says, Kenya, please pick up your mantle and let's meet on the street. John Roguno, Kenya Kwanza is the worst government in Kenya history since independence. Then we have Joseph Rimba. Uhuru alituambia mpaka akaongea lugha ya kimama ili mwelewe. Hamkuelewa maana mtume hudharauliwa kwao, na sasa tumelikoroga, lazima tulinywe. Going back to what thank you so much for your comments. Continue following Lightcast Media, continue watching. We have more up for you. So going back to what Governor Orengo from Siaya County said, don't you think those are very hot allegations that he's making there?
So, sometimes during these events for wanasiasa, maybe during campaigns and during those rallies, I think sometimes wanasiasa pia they always make some comments maybe out of their mind. Sometimes it may be difficult to prove like what he's saying is actually what is happening behind the scenes. You understand? Because sometimes it's difficult. I've said it's sometimes ni ngumu sana kujua kama ni ukweli ama ni siasa tu ama na nini kufurahisha watu. So I think me, according to me, like I'll stand with the other comments that I told you I saw somewhere. Like the way President Ruto is those policies he has chose to approach to use in approaching issues in the government right now. I think is on is maybe he has just decided maybe he just want to be a one-term president because it has been only 1 year and people are just feeling that heat like one-on-one, like a head-on collision. And so when he says like you want to go for 2 terms, so that will be like 9 years ahead of experiencing what people are experiencing right now, and it has been only 1 year. So I don't know what sometimes the people are saying, like they fail to understand President Ruto because during his campaign period there were just sweet promises, sweet things, sweet nini. As much as Kibaki didn't maybe accomplish each and everything he placed in his manifesto, but life during his reign, people experience some bit of relief in terms of matters of education, development, and other things. Bearing in mind, even Kibaki had his own issues, his own weaknesses. Or what do you think?
Well, let me just maybe mention a few things that I've noticed about the Kenya Kwanza administration ever since the time of campaign up to right now.
Yeah, on the comment section, we let's just we have Evans Kanyi anasema sikio lisilosikia dawa. Asante sana for tuning in. Linet Sony anasema aki we don't have another Kenya, wacha tu nipende hii nchi yangu kwa sasa. Of course we don't have any other choice unless you want to. Alan Kimani anasema ningekuwa na uwezo ningetoa Ruto na cabinet yake wote kwa serikali asubuhi na mapema. We are really suffering. And then we have Nyoginya anasema Ruto the 5th anaturamba. Vincent Omondi anasema hiyo shasoma, the comment is shasoma. And then we have Carol Oyugi anasema let Kenyans be keen because the things we normalize a year or a few months to election, and with our poor memory people will start singing Asla. Ruto cabinet is a mess.
Actually, on that comment met by Carol Oyugi, that Ruto's cabinet is a mess. Now, you remember during the campaigns where Ruto was actually derailing the Uhuru's administration, saying that they have actually upped the cost of living, and when he comes into the floor of leadership, he would ensure that the cost of living has gone down. And scroll back front to the time when he was being sworn in, he said nikieka Biblia chini nitahakikisha kuwa cost of living imeshuka. And now, as we are looking through at what he is doing in the administration, we see that the finance bill being talked about. That is one of the biggest conversations. And even before it became the biggest conversation, remember Raila Molo Odinga, the Azimio party leader, he brought it into public, and we were able to actually scrutinized and analyzed it, and we saw that there are things that were detrimental to the common mwananchi in terms of the finance bill. And so the Kenya Kwanza administration had to rework it. The UDA MPs had to rework it. But then again, it seemed not to be feasible. But then again, because of the numbers, the UDA have the numbers, they passed the finance bill. From there, we see things skyrocketing, electricity bills skyrocketing, fuel prices skyrocketing, gas prices skyrocketing. Everything is skyrocketing. And now we are seeing IDs skyrocketing. Actually, most of the people who live in Western and Nyanza and Coast, most of them, you'll find them still living in the cities because they want to cut down the cost of transport, because actually things are just off the hook. The prices are ridiculous. The kids have to be taken care of. Even putting food on the table is a problem. The school fees right now, there are so many kids right now, and I've been talking to parents on the ground because I've had the chance to teach in a school, and there are so many kids last year who have not joined grade 7 up to now simply because of school fees. Now you tell me, as much as I admire President Ruto for the shrewd political leadership that he showed during the campaigns, and the fact that he entered into government without being helped by, the government itself was against him, and he managed to win. But what is the tangible thing that he really has to show the Kenyan people that he's actually doing? The only thing that I see him dwelling on is that the cost of production has gone low. But remember, even as you are lowering the cost of fertilizer, remember, there are people who have big farms. The tractors need to be used in the shambas, and those tractors need oil. That fuel, has it gone down? Now, when you're looking at the cost of production, please look at it holistically. Don't look at one part of it and neglect the other. Even as he's working towards ensuring that food security the food security problem has been solved.
I think so far, what according to the ratings, if he was to be given marks and maybe grades, she'll be given higher grades in delivering speeches, because he never gets tired of talking. He never gets tired of giving the same speeches over and over and over again. Because
being judgy.
No, he never stops, because when you listen to each and every speeches he make,
he is the president. What do you expect him to do? He's supposed to show direction.
Yes, but there is a difference between talking too much and delivering. You see, better you stand on the podium and promise people that you'll buy them jerrycan of water. You understand? And then you deliver that jerrycan of water. After delivering that, and then talk another thing like I will bring this and this, and better you make like 10 promises and fulfill them instead of making 1,000 of them and you're not fulfilling even one. If you make those 10 and you fulfill them, people will have some bit of trust in your government. Maybe they say that given more time, people will be able to experience more goodies from President Ruto's government. So I think on my side, I can say like talking is sometimes talking is good. Talking may cushion people, but the same thing over and over again, and you're not doing anything different on the issues that are coming, or you solve another issue and then raise another issue. You understand? Solving the issue of hunger and then now raising the issue of getting some services from the government. It's like someone was saying like, even living in Kenya right now, dying in Kenya is becoming expensive. Like, it's expensive being Kenyan. You understand? Yeah.
Interesting. Well, so many people have regurgitated and spoken ill of what the Kenya Kwanza government has actually done. There is nothing to be seen. I'm just asking let's be fair. Let's be fair. Hakuna kitu hata moja There's not even one thing that Ruto has done. There's not one thing that Ruto has done that is good. Let us try and mention the good things, really. There's nothing good that comes out of the Kenya Kwanza government. Don, yes,
right now,
already been critiquing and critiquing
what I can say, maybe he has come up with a new trick of tricking the people. The way that I've told you over and over right now, like is doing one good thing and bringing, like doing another 5 things negative. Like now you see that will downgrade now the positive he has done. For example, what I've told you, there is the issue of fertilizer, and then there is the issue of unga. You understand? He has done, we can say, well, let's just say maybe he has done a good job on that, but you see,
there's a but.
Now he has cancelled that now with the increasing the cost of IDs, and I think that's another game that he is coming now to play around the mind of Kenyans. So of late I don't understand that, like the cost of getting cooking gas is a bit lower than the cost of petrol. Now that maths I don't understand. You see, now when you lower the cost of getting petroleum gas, refilling the gas and buying a new one, and then you're taxing people on other things that are more. So I don't understand. You see, if I would have kama angepunguza the bei ya unga na maintain kwa vitu zingine maintain zikuwa low, that would have been a plus all through. You understand?
There's news coming in about the land CS Alice Wahome. Alice Wahome proposes increasing land transaction fees. An official search of land will cost 2,000 up from 500. Incorporation of trust will cost 50,000 up from 5,000, and confirmation of boundary disputes will now cost 5,000. Oh my goodness. Things are just going up with this government. Increasing land transaction fees. There we go.
So on the battle, I had earlier told you that we play the video of Dipiga Shagwa telling Kenyans to increase the number of children, and then that's against their policy that they have created right now. So let's listen in to what Dipiga Shagwa said about getting more children.
Hapa Kiajokoma, si mnataka akuje? Si hiyo ni kazi yangu ya kumfikishia report, na rais ni muungwana. Yeye ni mtu ya kuweka ahadi. Akisema atakuja lazima atafika. Kwa hivyo hiyo mniwachie, nitamleta rais tukuje hapo tusaidie kujenga hiyo center na shule ya Kiajokoma Secondary School, ndio uweze kumaliza ile kazi iko pale, na hiyo primary school tuipatie milioni 2. Kiajokoma iweze kukaa vizuri. Na huyu Karemba, unajua sisi na rais tunampenda sana, sababu pia ni mtu ya kuongea ukweli, ni Mkristo na ana ukora. Na hapa mutie hekeshire. Ni muko muhoera. Ni muko munyitirira. Tena Karemba, mimi nashukuru wewe kwa sababu mimi nimeongea kwa ile viongozi wananisikiza ni wewe. Nimesema hii watoto tukue na wengi, wewe umesikiza mimi. Na unajua hii maneno ya watoto hapa katika mlima lazima tuongeze. Na tutaanza na viongozi. Viongozi waanze. Si Karemba ameanza mzuri. Sasa iko 5, ngangana ingine 5 akuwe 10, tukiendelea mbele. Si anaide tikirathimo. Mwenyezi Mungu atajua vile hii watoto watakula na watasoma. Wengine kama mimi na wakina Ses tulidanganywa na wazungu ati 2. Sasa mimi nimechelewa. Sesi sijui kama wewe umechelewa ama uko na namna. Ama utangangana. Sasa amechelewa ama ngangane? Amechelewa ama ngangane? Watu wao wanasema ungangane. Sasa kwa sababu tunasema sisi wazazi wetu walikuwa na watoto 10, watoto 9 na tulisoma. Sisi tutakuja tukakitishwa shiri na mzungu, tukakuwa wajinga ati 2. Sasa boma kama yangu mimi ni boma kubwa. Ukiwasha glass hapa, ukirudi baada ya mwezi 3 unaikuta hapo. Hiyo ni boma. Si unataka watu kuia kama hii gang hii ya Karemba hii. Si uliona vile mimi nilikuwa napiga makofi nikiona hii vijana. Wanavuja vitu hapo, wanaleta kelele, wanaangusha vitu. Sio ndio boma? Tumekubaliana watu ya Embu tuongeze watoto. Mungu atatusaidia. Hiyo maneno ya wazungu sisi hatutaki. Sisi tunataka tusaidie watoto, tufuate Biblia, tujaze hii dunia ndio tuweze kuendelea mbele. Wewe Karemba, well done, wewe endelea hapo. Sasa wewe ni mtu wangu. You lead by example. Na mama anaonekana gari yako na nguvu, endelea. There's no problem. Kwa hivyo
we have just had DP Gachagua talking about trying to, say that he is going to allow President Ruto to actually account for the trips that he went to. And, he was also talking about the issue of having so many kids. And I just can't seem to commensurate that with the issue of the cost of living. I mean, I feel like maybe he's so out of touch with what Kenyans are feeling right now because of his DP position, and he feels like maybe as a deputy president he needs to show direction and maybe act a fool and not be in touch with people's realities, according to me.
Yeah, on that, still we had a comment. We have a comment from Kipkemoi. Kipkemoi Rono says this government is useless. Even Pampers imeenda juu hapa chini. Tunaumia sana. So DP Gachagua, the way DP Gachagua is saying about people watu ongeze watoto. He's saying watu ongeze watoto, at the same time the cost of things like Pampers and those basic commodity hapo chini that will ease the lives of raising a child ziko juu. And then at the same time is just saying that the cost of we have 10 children, and then those 10 children Mungu atatusaidia kuwa raise. That isn't a right statement to say in front of people. He should even advise people maybe to watu wapange uzazi so that people will be able to afford the cost of raising one child, because apart from maybe those commodity those things that are used to raise children, we have even the education, we have just the issue of land, we have joblessness amongst our people, the Kenyans. We have just a lot of issues that maybe Kenyans are facing. So what I would advise maybe the DP, sometimes standing in front of people and saying something random isn't a good thing, and in front of people who are suffering on the cost of living. DP Gachagua should come to, even the DP Gachagua and those Kenya Kwanza leaders should come to terms of what is happening on the ground, what's happening to the people on the ground. You shouldn't just stand there and saying something something random. You should stand with the reality, and for the sake or for the good of people, if at all they mean well to people, they should advise people accordingly on what there is happening on the ground. We have Joseph Kimende. These are not the people who can be trusted. We are not paying debts, then we die. Thank you, Kimende, for your comment. And if you're watching us on Facebook and you're not a follower, please follow us on Facebook, Lightcast TV Kenya. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lightcast TV Kenya, and get more of what's happening around Kenya and some bit of international news.
We've just had a wrap up. Maybe if there are more comments that are streaming in, don't.
Right now we don't have any comments, so it's just that moment we are going to say goodbye.
My name is Ninja Collect. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, my name is Martin. Continue watching us on Facebook and YouTube, and continue commenting and sharing our broadcast. Thank you for your unending support. Till next time, see you.
Bye bye.